And the next and last concept for the day. So please bear with me for more 10 minutes. Okay. So we'll finish the first level of statements in C#. Okay. Okay. So next. Okay. Thank you. Let's say I have another scenario. See, I think you might have booked your cinema tickets online many times. Okay. If at all you are booking your tickets online, let's say BookMyShow is one of the very famous website in India, bookmyshow.com. When you book your tickets online, so there you'll find some offers, like obviously you'll be using either credit card or debit card to purchase your tickets, right? So sometimes they'll be keeping some bumper offers, like if you are a Deutsche Bank customer, buy one ticket, get one ticket free. If you are a SDFC customer, you'll get 20% discount. If you are a ICICI Bank customer, you'll get 50% discount. If you are a SDFC customer, you will get 30% discount, right? So they'll be keeping some offers like this. It will ask you to enter your card type. Once you enter card type, the system will validate. The system will decide how much offer has to be availed to the user. So what kind of offer has to be provided to the user? So the system will decide based on your card type, right? So the system will check. If the card type is equal to SDFC, provide this much discount. If card type is equal to Deutsche Bank, provide this much. If card type is equal to this much, provide this much, right? So like this, it will validate your card, and based on your card type, so whatever the discount is associated with that respective card, the respective card type, so that discount will be provided to the customer, right? So here you need to automate this process. What is that process? You have to ask user to enter his card type. Once he enters his card type, here we are providing different offers for different banks. If he is ICICI Bank, we are providing 30% discount. If the card type is SDFC, we are providing 40% discount. So the discount is going to be different from bank to bank. That is the reason you will have to validate his card type. Based on his card type, you have to make that respective offer available to the user. So this is what our project. Now we'll have to automate this process, right? Because daily, some thousands of transactions will be done in your website. So you cannot check all those transactions manually. You cannot check the card type manually. So you'll have to automate this process. System has to check whenever they book tickets online. System should ask them to enter the card type. Once they enter the card type, so it has to validate the card type against all the possible options available with us. And if that falls in that category, it has to make that respective offer available to the user. Okay, so this is what our project. Now you'll have to automate this process. So how do you write this condition? Let's try this. Okay, did you understand the requirement? Okay, so this is very simple requirement. Okay, simple. We are going to provide some offers to the customers as a merchant. We are going to provide some offers to the customers. That offer is going to be based on your bank type, and that is going to be different from bank to bank. Okay, so yeah, what is the input that we need to expect from the user? You'll have to ask user to enter only his card type, I mean bank name. Okay, so I'm going to define a variable called string card type. Ask user to enter his card type. It is a Deutsche Bank card, SDFC, ICICI, Bank of America, or Merrill Lynch, Standard Chartered. So ask him to enter his card type. Console.write line. Please enter your card type. Okay. Read his card type. Card type is, once you enter the value, read that card type. So console.read line. So card type is a string, so no conversion is required. Now what has to be done? Now this card type has to be validated against list of offers available with us. You have to validate this card type. If card type is equal to ICICI, If it is ICICI Bank, console.write line, congratulations, you have got 10% discount. Else, if it's not ICICI, you may be another bank customer. If card type is equal to Deutsche Bank, congratulations, you got 30% discount. Else, if card type is equal to SDFC, congratulations, you got 40% discount. So like this, you need to validate each and every bank. When it comes to the market, there are 1,000 different banks, right? There are some thousands of banks are available in the market across the world, across India, across different countries. We are providing offers to each and every bank. If at all you are providing offers to each and every bank, so what needs to be done? You need to implement your logic to validate each and every bank. For each and every bank, you'll have to write a separate if statement. If bank is equal this, if bank is equal this, if bank is equal this. If there are 1 lakh banks, what will happen? The same if statement has to be written 1 lakh times, because you need to validate each and every bank. We are providing a different offer to each and every bank. It is not same across all the banks. That is the reason, in order to validate each and every bank, you'll have to implement a separate if statement. If this bank, if this bank, if this bank. If at all you are going to validate 1 lakh banks, you need to write 1 lakh statements. So this if statement, the same logic, same kind of logic, same if statement is going to be repeated 1 lakh times. This is a very simple scenario. Just to achieve this simple scenario, we are writing 1 lakh instructions. We are writing the same if statement 1 lakh times. You're duplicating your logic. The same keyword is getting repeated. The same statement is going to be repeated 1 lakh times. Here, what you are doing, you're duplicating your logic, and complexity will also be increased. Readability is also going to be difficult. If any issues occurred in your code, even debugging is also going to be very difficult. Even debugging process is also going to be very difficult. See, just to write these 3 cases, we have spent a lot of time. We can see a lot of complexity. We have duplicated our logic. It has repeated 3 times. If at all you are going to validate 1,000 banks, 1 lakh banks, the same if statement has to be repeated those many times, which will increase a lot of complexity, which will put some burden on the system. And your readability is also going to be very difficult, and debugging process is also going to be very difficult. Right? Your scenario can be achieved through this, but here we have seen a lot of disadvantages. That's why what C# is recommending, if you are going to write only 3 or 4 if conditions, then fine. If the same condition is going to be repeated multiple times, you will face these many disadvantages. If the same condition is going to be repeated multiple times, then don't write that same statement again and again. Don't duplicate your logic. Don't increase the complexity. Don't put this burden on the system. Better, instead of using this same if statement, instead of writing a statement those many times, better make use of another powerful statement that is called switch statement. That is called switch statement. So let's move towards our next concept. That is going to be switch statement. So coming to switch statement, in our previous case, if at all you need to validate 1,000 banks, we used to write that if statement 1,000 different times. So as I said, that can be replaced. That kind of complexity can be reduced using another alternative powerful option that is called switch statement. When it comes to switch, You don't have to write that if those mean number of times. You just need to define a case to validate each scenario. To validate each bank, just define a separate case rather than defining a separate complete if statement. Like this. Switch, provide your input. What has to be validated? Bank type has to be validated. Against, here you can define a number of cases. Define a case for ICICI. Define a case for SDFC. Define a case for BOA. You don't have to write a separate if statement to validate each and every case. In this case, what will happen? First thing, the if statement will not be repeated those many times. Complexity will be reduced. Second thing, the readability and debugging process is very, very important. Once you deploy your application in the live environment, now support will come into the picture. If at all you are supporting the application production environment, there you will find in the production environment, you will find three types of applications: silver, bronze, and gold. Silver, bronze, and gold. Coming to gold applications, we'll be giving 24/7 support. For example, trading based applications, share market related applications. The share market will start at 9:30 a.m. and it will be closed by 3:30 p.m. Right? If you're doing some trading in any website, right? So the value will get changed for seconds. Within milliseconds, the value may go up or it may go down. So you need to keep on watching that continuously. Let's say you put trigger for some, you have put some triggers, you purchase shares for some 1 crore or 10 crores. In that case, you need to keep watching the progress of your share continuously, because it will be changing for second to second, millisecond to millisecond. In that case, if the site goes down for 1 hour, if the site is down for 1 hour, so what will happen? You put a trigger for 1 crore rupees, 10 crore rupees. If the site is down for 1 hour, you don't even know what is happening inside that. You may get 1 crore rupees profit or you may get 1 crore rupees loss, because you don't know what is happening there. In that case, the impact will be very, very high. So that kind of applications will be considered as gold level application. In case of gold level application, the SLA will be in only seconds and minutes. There should be only one outage throughout the year. If it is more than that, the provider has to pay back to the client. Whoever supporting that application, if the SLA is breached, he has to pay the penalty back to the client. It will be sometimes, it will be double than what he is getting. It might create a big loss to the client, big loss to the vendor, right? So if you're working in that kind of environment, if the issue comes immediately, you have to go back to your code, debug the issue and get it fixed right there. There should not be even 1 second of delay, right? So in that type of cases, if your code is having a lot of complexity and readability is also very difficult, in that case, it will be very difficult to debug your issue and fix the issue. So that's why while writing your logic, you should consider all these things. You need to reduce the complexity, and readable should be very good. It should be very simple, and debugging process should also be very simple, right? So if you go to Switch, the first thing, the beauty of Switch is here, the complexity will be reduced and readability is going to be very simple. Debugging process is also going to be very simple. So that is the reason, if you are going to write only 2 or 3 if statements, if your if statement is going to be repeated only 2 to 3 times for the same scenario, you don't have to go for switch statement. If at all, you need to validate a number of things for the same case. There you need to write the same if statement a number of times. There you can expect good amount of complexity and all. So there you need to replace it with switch statement. Don't go with if statement. Better make use of switch, where you can reduce a lot of complexity and you can see so many good things when it comes to the real-time environment. Okay, so let's go back to our Visual Studio And let's try to replace this coding with our switch statement. Okay. Any questions, guys, so far? Okay. So let's see how to convert the same statement into switch. So as I said, when it comes to switch, sorry, input is required. You need to use a keyword called switch. Here you'll have to provide the input. What has to be validated? What has to be validated? Your card type has to be validated. Card type has to be validated. Here, earlier we used to define a separate if statement to validate each case. Here, you don't have to write if. Rather, you can define a case to define each and every validation. Case ICICI. I mean, if card type is equal to ICICI, it means if card type is equal to ICICI. Write ICICI case. Congratulations. Console.write line. And break is mandatory for every case. Later I will tell you why it is mandatory. Okay. Yes, it's done. So not only two statements, you can write n number of statements inside each and every case. Next, case is DFC. Congratulations, you have got 50% discount. Next, case Bank of America. Congratulations, you have got 40% discount. Right. So like this, you can define n number of cases. There is no limitation at all. You can define n number of cases. And the last case is going to be default. Default. Console.write line. Invalid card type. Enter. See, let's see the execution process of switch. How exactly the execution takes place by the compiler. Once the control comes to a switch statement, switch takes the input to be validated against all these cases. What is the input is going to be validated here? Card type. What has to be validated? Card type has to be validated. Now what it will do? Once control comes to switch, first it will go inside of the switch with this input. First it will go to case 1 and try to match this card type with ICICI. It checks where card type is equal to ICICI. If this is matched, it will go to this case and finish this execution. Let's say here we have defined 1000 cases. If the input is matched with the first case, what it will do? It will go to this respective case and start executing its instruction. Once the execution is finished, so why should I go for all other cases and verify it? So the execution should be breaked here itself. From here, you need to divert the execution to next line. You don't have to validate all other cases. That is the reason we'll be using break. If this case gets matched, this execution will take place. Once this execution gets finished, then break the execution here itself. It means divert the control to outside of switch. And next line, which is next to your switch statement. If the first case doesn't get matched, next it will go to second case and try to match this value. If it is SDFC, this case will get matched. If this is matched, this execution will take place. Once the execution gets finished, the execution will be stopped, control will be diverted to next line. If the second case is not matched, then it will go to third, then it will go to fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. If no case gets matched, finally by default it will go to default case. If no case gets matched, it will go to default case. Here you can take the control and alert the user. Bus, you entered some invalid card details. Please enter a valid card type. Right? So this is something about your switch statements. Let's run it once. Let's see the execution. Please enter your card type. Let's enter it as ICICI. See, what is the card type? ICICI. See, it went to ICICI, and the respective block execution will take place. Here I wrote only one statement, but ultimately you can write a number of statements. You can write a number of conditions. Inside each case, you can write if statement, nested if else. Based on your logic, you can write any kind of action. There is no limitation. Next, please enter your bank type, BOA. See, once the execution gets finished, it will be braked. See, it went to next line. It will not verify the remaining cases. Next, you got 40% discount. The last scenario, I'm going to enter some invalid bank type. Let's say some SSS. What will happen? It will verify each and every case. If no case gets matched, finally it will go to default case. See, it came to default case. Invalid card type enter. So this is something about your switch statement. Any questions, guys? Okay, so today I took 2 hours session, and tomorrow also it will be 2 hours. Okay. So this is something about your if else, and switch statement. Okay. These are very, very important in 90% of the real-time applications, in 100% of the real applications, in most of the places. Many logics will be implemented using the combination of these three: if else, switch, nested if. These are very, 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 very important. Okay. Please share all the recordings and slides. I believe till yesterday I have shared everything, right? I'll have to share only the yesterday session and today's session. But everybody has received all my recordings except yesterday and today's session. Okay, perfect. And just right after this meeting, yeah, I'll send you both the slides. I'll send you both the slides. But today I'm going to give you some more examples for your practice. Okay. Okay, guys, please note down that. And tomorrow there will be assessment for Rajita, Priyanka, and Aravind. Okay, so whatever we have discussed till now, so only that thing will be covered as part of your assessment. Okay, please do read all the concepts since beginning, since from the framework, introduction to framework. Okay. So everybody should score, so you should write, you should attempt each and everything. Okay, so everybody should get 100% score, because I'm going to share those results with your consultant, your respective folks at Sri and all. Okay. So please do read all the concepts and please do practice all these examples. Okay, I'm going to give you a few examples. Okay, please, everybody should practice it. Okay. Write down. This is really one of the real-time example. Okay, everybody should practice it. See, It's very interesting. When it comes to numbers, if it is 1, how do you read it? How do you pronounce 1? We'll read it as first. If it is 2, we'll read it as second, third, fourth, and 5, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. Again, if it is 11, 11th, 12th, right? 13th, 14th, next. If it is 21, will it as 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and the rest will be TH, 24th, 25th, 26th. Next, if it is 31, 31st, 32nd, RD or ND? Okay, see, you have to automate the process of sending birthday emails to the user. See, while sending some anniversary emails, right, you'll have to pick up the number and decide which one has to be concatenated with that number, whether it is ST, ND or RT. If it is 1, it should be first. Congratulations for completing first years, or 2 years, second year, third year in your company, fourth year, fifth year, or first anniversary, second anniversary, third anniversary, fourth anniversary, right? So based on that number, you'll have to decide which one has to be concatenated to that number. It is ST, ND, RD or TH. You will have to ask user to enter the number and decide which one has to be concatenated, and I mean how to read that number, which one has to be concatenated to that number, and print that. Print it as either 1 ST or 1 RD, 1 ND or 1 TH. Did you understand the concept? Did you understand the requirement? Let's say you'll have to ask user to enter the number. Let's say the user has entered 34. You should display it as 34th. Let's say one of the user has entered it as 21. You should display it as 21st. So you'll have to decide this character, how to read it, which one has to be concatenated to that number, right? So in most of the cases, except 11 and 12, in all the cases, if the last digit is 1, it should be pronounced as ST. If the last digit is 2, it should be pronounced as ND. If the last digit is 3, it should be pronounced as RD, and the rest of all cases, it is going to be TH. So what you need to do here is, the number can be anything. That is a 1-digited, 2-digited, 3-digited, n-digited number. Your focus should be on only last digit. Extract only last digit of that number and check. It is 1 except 11, 1111, 1011, 10,011, 1,11,11, and 12, 1112, 1012, 10,012, except these two, except 11 and 12, and all rest of the cases. If the last digit is 1, it should be pronounced as ST. If it is 2, ND, 3 is RD, and remaining all other cases should be TH. Right? So everybody should try it out. You will get to know many things. Okay? So this is your exercise, and I'm going to give you the same example in your assessment also. Did everybody understand the requirement? If you just simply practice whatever I taught in the classroom, that won't be helpful, right? If you practice them, you can just understand the concept. But things ultimately, you need to build logics on your own. You should be in a position to write logics on your own. So if you want to get into that position, obviously you need to practice more and more number of examples on your own. Okay, here you need to put some thought process. You know, you need to get at least scope to think about few things, new things. Okay, so please don't take any other helps. Okay, so I'm not going to, you know, end of the day, ultimately, you know, I'm not going to give you marks or anything, right? So ultimately my intention is to, you know, let you know about everything. So whatever is available in C#, ultimately you're going to be a developer, you're going to develop the things in the real-time environments. That should be, you should be aware of everything. So you need to start building your, you know, logical quotient right from here. Okay, so please do try it on your own, don't take any other helps. Okay, if you get stuck somewhere, if you write only one line of code also, that should be fine. I'm really very happy, but you should write at least one line of code on your own. That is what my expectation. Okay, you don't have to complete that, you know, you don't have to write that complete logic. Start thinking, start building line by line, then only you'll be able to complete that complete logic. You will reach your target. Okay, so please, everybody should try it out. If you get stuck somewhere, please reach out to me. I can take you from there. I'll tell you how to go forward from there. Okay, so whether you completed one line of logic, 2 lines, 3 lines, it can be anything, but ultimately you should try it on your own. If you complete at least one line also, I'll be more happy. Okay.